Hey, thanks for tuning in. And while I have your attention, I would like to direct you over to Enter the CRoMniVerse Anthology Volume 1. This is a comic book that I am working on. We are raising funds through Indiegogo, and right now we're running the email list. So if you would please check the description in the link below. I will have the email list for you to go sign up for Enter the CRoMniVerse Anthology Volume 1. You are not going to want to miss this. Crom is an internet troll. He literally lives inside the internet. He is a character created by Pops Van Zant and brought to life artistically by Edwin Artex Badillo. And we are putting together an anthology with a lot of great artists, like Edwin is contributing, Doc Blaylock. I have a story, Eric Hodson, Paul Gomez. There are so many more people that are joining in and helping to contribute stories to this anthology. So please check the description below and click the sign up link, put your email in, and we will update you on everything that is Crom. Thank you.
I was supposed to be getting better as a human being and not have lustful desires to be with somebody.
So I'll put a hat on. Impromptu. Yeah. Thanks for joining the Play Nice podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Andrew Nicewonder. This is a impromptu episode, which is very, very fun. I am here with my very, very special guest, one of my best friends from college, old roommate of mine, Charles Ryan Russell. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. So let me give context to people. So Ryan did not do very good at waking up in school.
Nope.
He had 3 alarms set, which basically woke me up only, not him. I was the 4th alarm, which was awesome. But we were neighbors the first year of school as freshmen. And then sophomore, junior year, we were roommates. And Ryan would not wake up in the morning. I would try to talk to him, and he'd say, I hate human beings before 12 p.m. And if you talk to me, I fucking hate you. So I would try to talk to him because I'm a very social person. And he would look at me like this.
Do you know how I finally...
And
you know how I finally solved that? Like, I was damn
how'd you
near...
solve that?
I was
Tell me.
in my, mid-30s when I finally figured it out. I started putting an actual percolator coffee pot in my bedroom. And so I would make it at night and set it for the morning. And so the the percolating and the smell of the coffee would be like, okay, I need to get up, because I don't I needed something other than an audio cue, because I don't hear when I'm sleeping. And so insomnia is a fucking weird beast.
I think it's legit. I agree with you. I'm not saying anything bad about you. I'm just saying
I imagine it was a fucking nightmare from time to time. I imagine it wasn't so. Yeah, my bad. If you'd have roomed with me,
you're good. I loved you.
30s,
I loved you.
It would have been a coffee pot.
I loved you, Ryan. For reals, I loved you. You were like oasis in the desert to me, because I was dealing with bullshit every day with mainstream people, people sending me shit in the mail that said, I hate your guts because you're doing this with the student council and shit like that. So you're outside of that. So I wanted to hang out with you as much as possible because you're outside of all that bullshit. And you weren't asking me about what's going on with this or that, blah, blah, blah. You're like, let's play Tony Hawk, let's go to the movies, let's do shit. Let's go to Florida. We did that trip to Florida, remember?
Oh yeah, no,
it was awesome. It was really fun.
there were a few trips to Florida. I mean, that's one of the cool things about being there. Like, was being able to dip down to Florida almost whenever, because it wasn't, that far. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure, for
like it was
sure.
easy, fun
No,
weekend trip. Like, and like I know, like, we hung out with a lot of people that were from Florida, and so we never had to pay for hotels or anything, which was always like one of the key parts when you're in college is
no, it's
finding
great.
free shit to do. That
Adam, Adam,
oh
who was on
yeah,
our wing,
yeah,
Adam was great. I love Adam.
yeah, man. He
He
was
has like a bunch of kids now,
really that doesn't surprise me. The
and his daughter, his oldest daughter, is now like almost a teenager or like a teenager now. Can you believe
yeah.
that?
No, it's like I have a weird like disconnect because I'm a man child and I never had kids, and so like people my age are having
Yeah,
kids, and I'm like they're not old enough to be having 18, 19-year olds.
yeah.
Like,
Me
because
too. I'm also a man child. I'm also a man child. I've been married. I don't have children, and yeah, I don't have children. And so people have like 5 kids. I'm like, what? What's going on with these people? I have girls I dated in college that have like 3 or 4 kids now, or high school that have like 2 or 3 kids. I'm like, what?
yeah,
I could have children. Let's see. I have children. They're like almost 20 years old now,
it's
based on what
crazy.
I've seen before. I know it's crazy, right?
It's crazy. I mean, good for them. Everybody ends up on the path they're supposed to be on, good, bad, or indifferent. Like
Yeah.
it's and that's one of the things I've noticed, like with myself, just by because I'm always
Mm.
analyzing and overanalyzing myself, and so just being like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, and like I realize with my quirks and certain things, like I fritz out if I try to do stuff like jobs are hard
Yeah.
because I think I'm supposed to be an artist, and so like it's hard for me to like get a real job because in my head I'm just gonna quit in a month when as soon as like any one of the 1,000 art projects I have going on picks up. I'm out of
Yeah.
there, and like I'm dumb enough to believe it's always around the corner. And so and now I've just kind of
No,
resigned
you
to
don't.
that.
You're not dumb about that.
Oh, I'm flagrant
Actually,
with it.
no, you're
Just
okay with that. Like, I think that's what makes you great is that you're actually one of the best salespersons that I've ever met in my whole entire life.
wow.
Like, I've met lots of salespeople, and I think you're one of the best salespersons I've ever met. Actually, you gave me a lot of confidence after college to sell myself
Oh,
because you're like you're like on it. You're like, hey, I'm this. I can do this. You should buy this product from me. Blah blah blah. You're a great salesman. I'm really actually looking back. I'm really impressed with what you were able to accomplish in college because you were able to like launch concerts, include yourself in like very well named, high name like artists and do projects with them and stuff like that. You're you're a good salesperson.
oh, I thank you.
And
It-
no, I'm not like just shitting you. I'm
No,
like telling you the truth.
it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that used to happen. Like, cause along the way, working through corporations and stuff like that, when you stop believing in what you're selling, you don't want to sell things anymore. Like, so after the years
Yeah,
I spent like at American Eagle, Guitar Center, like working for uh big TV shows and stuff like that, where and then you're like, oh, these corporations don't care about the people they're selling to, so why should I care about the product they're pushing? And so it just where it's like, oh yeah, man, like uh, a lot of selling is actually giving a shit about what you're selling, and if you don't
yeah, for
like
sure.
and if you don't like the product, it's no so it thank you for reminding me that it's okay to kind of care about what I am trying to sell, because that's been the last decade
Yeah,
one
sure.
of the hardest things for me is like, because I half the time feel like I'm bothering people, where I'm like, hey, I make music, I draw stuff, and so
No, I
it's
remember. I remember like. I remember in university, you like didn't give a fuck who you were selling to. You're like, hey, we're gonna do this. Like, we're gonna do this concert, and it's gonna happen. You like actually in honor of you tonight, when I was at the bar before I joined you here tonight.
yeah.
I played ill harmonics and grits in
Oh
your
wow,
honor. And
that's
I remember you and I went to a grits concert together in Chattanooga.
mhm.
You and I went to Chattanooga. We were in university. We watched grits play live, and then you did a show with ill harmonics live,
Mhm.
which was a pretty big deal. Ill harmonics was like at their prime at the time you did like a show with them. I know not a lot of people showed up, but like you had like really big balls. Your balls were very large.
The
And I think in terms of sales, like you have to like continue to believe in yourself and like sell yourself and like try to risk things and try to push yourself. And I took some of those lessons like you showed me, like forward after university, and I sold myself a lot. And like I really didn't understand like how people who have a lot of skills, like I don't view myself as like being super skilled, but like I have that I have what you have in
you
terms of like
you have
sales.
a
Like,
love for people and conversations and getting
yeah,
things going, and which is very you know like put that to pushing a product and you can move units, you know.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, just sitting down with somebody and talking to them about like having a drink with them, talking to them about shitting the shoot or sorry, shooting the shit. I'm a little drunk right now. Sorry. I'm shitting, shitting shit.
Yes.
Just talking. And then you like go and like you build a relationship with the person and then you start selling products to them. People want to buy that if they like you. And people want to buy stuff when they like you a lot. And I found that to be true, like with myself. Like if I sat down with somebody, was honest with them, authentic with them, and like told them the truth about the situation,
Hmm.
people wanted to buy from me.
Right.
You know, people want
Exactly.
authenticity. They want somebody that's not really selling something to them. They're like investing themselves in whatever they're doing with you. And like people really like that a lot.
Yeah. It's because
Yeah.
time is money, and it's all a similar investment, like because because people work hard for what money that they have, and that is the time that they spent,
Yeah.
and so they want to feel like that time they spent busting their ass is well spent, like whether it be like vacations, homes, like trinkets, like tchotchkes, like it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
they want to exchange the time they spent for something that they can appreciate.
Yeah. And I even have advised people on, taking from university. Like I had a youth ministry degree from
Hmm.
university, right? I'm like, I sat down with some Europeans that were like, I'm planning to take this job. And I was like, you probably shouldn't take that job because you have a teenage daughter. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, your teenage daughter is 12 years old. You need like the next 2 years to like really focus on her, or she's gonna be like have daddy issues.
The oh
So
yeah.
like if you really want your daughter to not have problems, like you should like focus on your daughter for the next couple of years. So don't take this job transition. And like I've had people like from my experience from university and understanding adolescent development, like business people that are like millionaires to like salespeople or whatever. Like they tell me their life story, they tell me what their life is about, and I'm like, you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like I've had people like just like bare their soul to me, and I'm like, you shouldn't do that. And they're like, oh shit, I was gonna take that job, but like now you said that about teenagers, I'm not gonna take that job anymore, and I'm like gonna
Right.
invest in my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I would have. Yeah, I wish we would have been talking like 10 years ago when I thought it was a good idea to go to cosmetology school. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. I was like,
Bro,
what?
I was
I
at
was like, kind of like, what?
I was at like the weirdest place in my life. I just got laid off from my first real job. I was like managing a customer service department, and like I was uh geez, at the time I was probably about 100 pounds heavier than I am now, and like
Yeah.
depressed as shit, having to move back in with my parents, and through some weird mental breakdown fog, I was like, oh, it'd be a great idea to go to hair school. And then about halfway through, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? And
I think
nobody.
I talked to you once during that time. I think I talked to you once during that time, and you were telling me about it, and I was like, cool, because I didn't really know what to tell you.
I
Because
think
like,
that was
I was
most
like,
people's things, because like I'm eccentric enough where it's kind of makes sense. Like if you know me, where it's like, yeah, that
yeah,
does,
right, for real.
like
Like,
it
because
doesn't not
I
like
was
it.
like, Ryan went to college for preaching, then he went to the media, and now he's like leaving that to go do cosmetology school. I was like, that fits.
And so
So
it's when you're a little
yeah, I
eccentric,
didn't really
like
know what to say.
the yeah, it
Yeah.
was like it was one of those things, and like where no one really knew what to say, because I the that errat like yeah, it wasn't so out of character, like, which is why I think around that time was so weird for me, because I was doing a lot of very out of character things that are just slightly in character, like with me, like
Yeah.
while I was like sorting stuff out. And then yeah, that was a weird one. So now I have a now I'm paying for a degree, another degree I don't use. The
Hey man,
man, school is the
it's
worst
okay. You can put it on
decision
your resume.
I ever made, man.
Yeah.
Like I regret going to school, like college and stuff. It was
Did you finish at Johnson?
no. I ended up actually I dropped out with I had 3 classes and I dropped
Oh,
out.
okay.
The like cuz my the last semester um I only like they didn't offer the classes that I needed. And so I was just like, well, I'll just come back next semester. And then about 2 months later I moved to Virginia. And so
Okay.
yeah, and so then I was like, well,
Virginia is nice. I mean, I was surprised that you ended up in LA, but not really surprised. Like,
the it should have happened way sooner. It
okay.
like I should have moved to LA way sooner. Is kind of what I learned.
Honestly, I see you as like a really good producer. Like I think you could do producing
Well,
really well.
that was the track that I was kind of on. That's why I was there. Like it took me like it's kind of funny, like, cuz the cooler shit I did, I never posted or told anybody about, really. Cuz it, it took like 7 years, but right up for about 6-8 months before the pandemic, like I'd actually finally got a TV job. Like I was office PA for the company for NZK Productions. They make The Bachelor,
Hmm.
Bachelorette, Bachelor, like all of those bunch of horror movies. And so I worked in the office there, and
Horror movies are awesome.
which I was finally in to move up, because I was wanting to be a TV producer, and then the world shut down, my job was dissolved, and now I'm in Kentucky. So the but hey,
Honestly, you could be in worse places. Elizabeth and
uh
is amazing. Your hometown is like
It's gotten so
one of
much
the
better.
beautiful towns in America.
Yeah.
It's
And
gorgeous.
it's gotten better. Like the energy here is completely different. Like there's actually stuff for adults and younger people to do. There's a lot of potential, which is super cool, and it's super cheap here, man. Like the cost of living compared to what I was paying
Yeah.
in LA versus out here now. Like, okay, my
When I come to
bedroom.
Kentucky, I'm gonna,
Oh yeah, well I'll take you. Yeah, I'll get you a drink
dude.
at
I'm gonna
Bourbon
drink a.
Barrel.
We're gonna kill a bottle of bourbon one night
Oh
for
jeez.
reals. Like I'm gonna come. We're gonna like destroy a bottle of bourbon at your favorite spot.
the
My treat for
the
reals.
Well, cool. I will. Yes, we will. We will definitely do that, and we'll have to grab a beer at the. There's a awesome brewery there called Flywheel, um, which is what I'm
Cool.
kind of proud of because I like. I love microbrews and craft beers and stuff, and so the fact
Yeah, yeah,
that E Town actually has a good brewery, I'm just like hell yeah, man.
mm, yeah, man.
Like the atmosphere is cool, and the funniest part about it is like back in the 80s my grandma and uncle actually owned the building that the brewery's in, and so like I grew up in
That's
that
weird.
building, so it's kind of a trip like being in there
Oh
now, like
wow.
drinking beers, because in the 80s like I literally grew up in that building, and then like because it was an
I
auto
remember
parts
coming to
store.
your parents' house. They kind of live in the outside of town, right?
Oh yeah, my parents live like way outside of town, man. It's the middle of nowhere. And so, but it is no, it's definitely gotten better. Like I don't think they're ever gonna fully let people off lockdown in California. It's still like I don't know.
And they're
It's
gonna lose the election. So, mm.
yeah. It yeah. Fuck them. I got out.
so
It's
I'm a corporate guy now. You know?
nice. Where? Yes. So, we'll circle back. So, where? So you are. Uh, give the location and what you're doing. I mean, not.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
have to
in
get a specific.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Bangkok, Thailand. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. I was in Yangon, Myanmar for like 10 plus years before this. And then since April, I've been in Bangkok. Last couple of months, I was in Myanmar. Uh, there was a coup,
Dude, I was seeing the
which was
pictures that you were
pretty.
posting. I was like, that shit's crazy. I'm like, but he seems to be nonchalant about it fairly much. So, like, I'm not gonna worry
I mean,
too
I
much
was
yet.
there, so I mean, I can't really overreact about it because like I was in the middle of it. So
Right.
I didn't want to get arrested, and plus, like, I was just letting people know about it because like I raised some money for people in Myanmar just so like people I knew to like be okay. And then I had a company there that like pretty much collapsed during COVID plus the coup.
Hmm.
We were okay during COVID. Then when the coup happened, it was like game over. So,
Damn.
which is not cool. I lived in like the township, which is called Sanchow, which is like like the worst township in Yangon to live during the coup, because it was surrounded by military the whole time. There were like snipers, flash grenades, gassings, arrests. It was like fucking kind of the end of the world there. It was pretty
And
terrible.
so was the coup and all of the military unrest and all of that, was that due to lockdown stuff, or was there something else going on that just added to the whole situation?
I think the military got tired of being cut out of some of the economical things that were happening.
Okay.
The democratic process was making the military less relevant, and so the if you understand Myanmar a little bit, the uh, democratic process, the democratic government has no power over the military. So in the U.S., the president is like the commander in chief over the military.
Right.
In Myanmar, the military is separate than the government.
Okay.
So the military does whatever it wants, and they have like control over like the border security, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, things like
Okay.
that. And so when you have like the military that also benefits from business, they have like their own businesses going on. The democratically elected government is trying to undermine the military government by giving them like weakening their power. Then the military ends up taking over the democratic government. That's kind of what happened.
Because the government
So
doesn't have anybody to stand up for them, and so the government kind of, or so the military comes back in and is like,
yeah, the government doesn't have guns.
right. And so they're going to lose the fight
Yeah,
because,
so the military stepped in because they're losing credibility. They're losing financial resources. They're
mhm,
also international justice court had put the limelight on the military with the Rohingya crisis. With Rohingyas are like an ethnic group in Myanmar that was persecuted and also like had a bit of genocide. I don't say a bit, but like there wasn't like full on genocide, but they had a lot of people died. But they were pushed into Bangladesh. So like
uh,
900,000 Rohingyas were pushed into Bangladesh from the Myanmar military. And so the IGN, the International Justice Court, IJC, sorry,
mhm,
did a court thing, and they were trying to find the military guilty, which they are, of human rights abuses. And then um, they were the military head was retiring a year ago in June, and so he was like, "I need to take over the government. So if I retire, I might go to jail, international court stuff." So he kind of, I
okay.
think he found like there's economic support, like military wanted more economics, and plus he was retiring. There's a lot of things that took place that made him want to take over the country. So after like February 1st, we're about to approach it, right?
Mhm.
February 1st last year was when they took over the government. And February 1st last year was when the new government after the elections was going to sit. So that day was the last day they could take over the country. And so they took over the
Oh,
country the day that they were going to sit for the first government meeting. And and he and he took all of the people into custody, and he put people in jail and everything. So the leader of the country, Aung San Suu Kyi, is in house arrest, and so are a lot of other MPs. They're in house arrest as well.
wow.
And so, and after that, the people protested, and after that, they shot a lot of people, they imprisoned a lot of people, and they poured acid down their throats and killed a lot of people. And so, like, more than 1,600 people died in a
Damn.
few months from protesting. And I was there. I was there for a few months of that, and I saw people getting gassed. I saw people getting shot, and I saw people getting arrested by the military. And I was like, "What am I doing here? I need to leave." So
Yeah. Oh fuck. No,
I was, I
yeah.
was like,
Thank God you got out of there, man. The
"Yeah."
what is it? Is it
Actually,
still
funny
going
thing
on
is,
now?
like,
Like, is
yeah,
this
for sure, for
okay?
sure. Still,
The man, it's crazy what like one instance that happens in like some place, like something seemingly, I mean, even, like the COVID virus, like you wouldn't think that that would really, man, like it's insane how something like that triggered all of these other events and opportunities where, it just piled on to the situation that was already going on there and just
Yeah.
like made things.
No, there's a lot of countries that have like had problems economically. Honestly, in the next 2 years, a lot of countries are going to fall. The governments are going to collapse because of economics, and so we'll probably have like 12 to 50 countries at least, 20 countries at least that collapse over the next 2 years
Fuck.
economically because of COVID. And
Man.
I question whether COVID lockdowns and economic suppression was really necessary versus what the consequences are going to be.
Right.
And I think like a lot of people are gonna, it's going to be a lot of problems.
Yes, it is definitely going to be interesting over the next couple of years. I mean, even so, I think in the United States, the like cities like Los Angeles and like they aren't looking so
No,
good,
California,
man.
New York,
Like the
California,
normal
New York
people
are
are
like
leaving, and
screwed.
it's just the rich people and the mentally insane. Like because there's a huge like homeless crisis, but it has nothing to do with houses or housing. It's not a housing issue. It is a mental health issue that they are disguising as a housing issue, which has nothing to do with houses. Like these people need help. Like
Ryan, like chaos is big money. If you have chaos, you can make a lot of money in chaos.
They learned that back in World War I and World War II.
I made money in Myanmar because people wanted to leave the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I rented 3 planes, and I sold seats on the plane, and I filled 2.5 planes full of people and flew them out of Myanmar. So like, if I'm doing that as like a regular entrepreneur, there's a lot of people doing that are millionaires, billionaires on a larger level. There's people making a lot of money right now because there's disruption in the economy. And I think you should like listen to some of the Russell Brand stuff, Joe Rogan stuff. There's a lot.
I do tune into a lot of the like the Russell Brand clips and stuff from his podcast that goes on YouTube. I watch Breaking Point a lot with Crystal and Sagar. They are a great news channel.
I love Crystal and Sagar a lot. I love them.
They're I like that they don't really pull punches on anyone. They just sort of present it how it is, let you come up with your own conclusion, and they have fun enough personalities and you actually believe in what they're doing because they're a big fan of independent media and which is where I lie. That is my fight. I realize that is my fight. And my cause is independent artists, independent creators, independent media. Like, because I don't like the way the major corporations like Disney and AT&T, Warner, Apple, like I don't like the way that any of them are handling anything, and so instead of just bitching about it, I'm wanting to actually do something about it. Like, I don't really like the way entertainment is going. I feel like there's a huge lack of creativity. And so I am going hard in the paint on independent creators. There's a huge independent comic book movement, that I'm involved in, and where it's heavily creator supported, creator owned. And I want to branch that out into, because I want to make TV shows and movies and things like that. And
Dr. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt would support you.
Maybe do you know how I can get in touch with him? I actually not.
He's on all the platforms.
I haven't met him, but I've like not met him, but I've been in the same room with him because I've been on a few episodes of Parks and Rec. and so we've been in the
Okay,
same.
cool.
We were in the same room at the time. No, from that show, some of the cooler people I met was like Jason Schwartzman. Like I actually got to talk to him for a minute on
Jason
set.
Schwartzman's pretty cool.
Dude, he's the
I
fucking
believe he's
nicest
probably pretty
guy.
approachable.
Oh, he totally is. Like
Yeah.
him, he's so cool. Mo Collins, Stewart's mom from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Okay, she's on Parks and Rec as a recurring character, and like hung out like one day, like basically in the scene I was in, I was sitting with her, and so I hung out with
Yeah.
her all day. Like she's super cool, and like she's like she's very attractive, and so it was kind of weird. I was like, man, I kind of want to fuck Stewart's mom. Like because she's all
on a date.
the oh no, not at all. The
What episode were you on? What's the episode you were on?
a few like I was in, like I don't know the names of the titles of any of it. Like it was in a woodworking convention one episode. I was at a town hall meeting. Another episode I was in, like it was like a media banquet. I would have to go back and look like in
Okay,
the
cool.
shows. Like I tried watching the show, but being on set was way funnier than actually watching the show. And so I would, especially the ones that I worked on, I was like, oh man, they didn't keep any of the like I don't remember specifically any of the jokes that were cut, but like most of the funniest stuff they said wasn't used. I mean, most of it couldn't be used, but most of the, like when they shows that do all the wild lines, like Parks and Rec does,
Yeah.
they, but yeah, Chris Pratt, he, I saw him. I was in the same room with him. This was Fat Chris days too, when I saw him.
Yeah. Yeah, the humble fat Chris. I was just kidding. I'm sure he's humble now.
Oh no, I'm sure he is. Like before.
No, he's a great. I see his posts all the time. He's like the best Hollywood. He's best. He's the best.
Mm-hmm. No, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, if you're watching this, I love you so much. You're the best ever.
The heck yeah, Chris Pratt. Yeah, hit us up, Chris. The my DMs are open. That's okay. So, are you still working for the same company that you were working for in Myanmar now that you are in Thailand?
I'll tell you the secret. I'll tell you a secret, okay?
Okay.
So I've never told anybody else this, okay?
So it's between me, you, and
I
everyone
left
listening.
the organization I worked for, which is a nonprofit, and I also was doing my own company also while I was with that organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I have joined a law firm. I work for a law firm based in the U.S.
Okay.
I work with public companies. So I do documentation for public companies. I do research for lawyers. I work with lawyers. So all the lawyering stuff. So
Okay.
documents for filings, everything. Help them raise funds, all that stuff. So that's what I do.
Okay.
And then I've registered my own company here to do tourism because I did tourism in Myanmar as well.
Okay.
And I'll have a tour company that focuses on nightlife. So
All right.
bar tours and things like that.
The fun shit. Focus on the fun shit.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I'm too old to focus on boring shit.
Dude,
I'm like only
It's-
fun or no.
That's where
no
I've
go.
been, man. I woke up in my I'm 40 now, about to turn 41, and like sometime in my late 30s, like I woke up and I was like, holy shit, I forgot how to have fun. Like there was at some point where I was just like, I used to actually be fun. Like I was a very fun person, like back in the day, and like I just
For me, it
somehow
wasn't that. It wasn't
ended up.
that.
Well, that's how I was.
How to be fun.
And so I'm getting back
I got
to
fat.
oh, hey man, usually fat comes with fun. A lot of
Touche, touche. I agree with you. But like, you have to
you know,
maintain some kind of sort of fitness level
but
to
yes, in
make
order
it in this world.
to take care of yourself and last longer,
Yeah,
like I would
yeah.
encourage health and physical fitness.
How do
That
you do
is
it? You're like, you haven't aged a day.
it's it was hard, man. Uh Honestly, I cuz
Lots of
I
creams and like
no
visiting witches. Like, what do you do?
uh exercise, lots of water, and pot. So that's
And being high.
yeah,
I
that's
remember you were like an avid runner,
yeah.
although you were like not a very good runner. You were like a very consistent like runner of long distances.
Oh, I actually turned out to be like a very like ended up being a very good runner. Like the in
Oh,
recent years I've been complimented on my form uh when running. The which sort of leads like kind of with the you know getting in shape like running, cuz I always did like distance running, and so yeah, just doing that more and more, combined with exercise and diet. Because I hit like I was heavy, man. Like I hit like I was like 265 ish, and I was starting to
I
have
beat you easily. I beat you easily,
I was starting to have a
dude.
lot
You
of
were nothing compared
problems.
to me. You were like a small child compared to me.
The
So, when I graduated college in 2005, I went back home to Kansas and I ran cross country. I was
oh
a,
nice.
assistant coach for a season. I ran cross country, so I was like a very slender, like 120, I think. Uh,
Oh
in
wow.
2005, fall of 2005,
Oh, that was smaller
and
than
then
you
it
were
was
in
downhill from
college.
there, man. It was downhill from there.
The yeah, it's yeah, exercise and diet, and you have to want it too, like because it didn't really start happening until I really wanted it, and then you start
See, that's the thing. I don't want it.
like
I want it, but I really don't want it. Like that's the issue.
it's and that's
Thing.
really what like the secret that everyone that has lost, you know, in excess of like 50 to 100 pounds, like all of us that are in that category, the real, yes, it's diet and exercise, but the real key is mind over matter. Like you have to want it. You have to actually want it, and it
Yeah.
has to actually be something that you want to work towards fully implementing. And
How much do
it,
you weigh now? How much do you weigh now?
I haven't weighed myself in a while.
You weigh
I
230?
now no man. I probably weigh like maybe 180. Like
Fuck, no way.
yeah, maybe 185 at the most. The no at
Dude, I'm
my
like I'm maybe almost 100 pounds more than you.
oh wow the it's yeah when I really like cut in and started doing like I was maintaining like 158 for years, and then now I'm like because I was doing construction for a while, and so I've actually bulked up a
All
little
right, cool.
bit, like even though I'm not really like fatter, I just got bigger, and so which is why
Yeah.
I'd say like yeah, it's been I would say maybe like 180ish, and the
Do you
cool thing.
think you have like you kind of have like I want to know this because I've always wanted to know like you've kind of had this like obsessive compulsive behavior where you like get something stuck in your head and you're like you like one summer you left college and you came back like super thin and like you like said to me like I ran all summer. I was like, who the fuck runs all summer? Like who decides to run all summer? Nobody does.
This
And you
guy.
were like, this guy does apparently. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, I ran competitively, you know? I ran track, cross country. I played basketball. I played
Soccer.
baseball, like all through my life. And when
Like,
I got out of sports competitively, I was like, I'm not going to do that shit again.
I think that's the
You
difference
know?
is because I was doing that stuff for fun. It was always just a hobby for me. Like the only thing I really ever
Yeah.
was competitive at was swimming. Which
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense because I don't swim as much because whenever I do swim, like I'm thinking I gotta
And for
be.
the ladies out there, I just want to say this. He looks good in a Speedo.
Oh yeah, the oh man, those are I found some of those old little Indian boy pictures. Uh, when
Dude,
I didn't realize how insane I was until my 30s, like kind of looking back at my like yeah, when I started smoking pot and calmed down a little bit, I was like, "Oh wow,
dude, you were a little insane.
my
You have to
natural
like at least admit that like I was an amazing person to you for the
Oh no,
insanity
dude, we
level
were
you were.
Oh yeah, I was intense.
We were
Like
tight. You and I were tight.
I like cuz my natural completely sober personality is that of a millionaire high off his ass on cocaine is my like idol. And so I'm always like, let's do it, man. Let's start a business. Let's go. We got this. We can do like. And so it took me a while to learn how to like calm the fuck down, like, cause that was my like idle point. And so like I didn't realize that I burned hot until I started slowing down. Then I was like, oh man, I was like me completely sober is
Yeah, but I don't think all of that is bad though. Like
no,
that's
it's
how like
definitely
Kanye is a billionaire.
yeah,
Like
it's
Kanye is a billionaire because of that shit.
the it yeah. And so no, it's not all bad. There's it which is actually the interesting part about being an adult and growing up is actually going back through the whole mess of your life, or at least the mess of my life, and kind of picking like stuff that really worked and like and get rid of the stuff that didn't and just sort of remixing all of those
Mm,
things into a better person, you know,
mm.
because there was a lot of things that I did, you know, even though like as cringy as I find some stuff, like there was a lot of me that was awesome from back then. And so it's all about picking out the good shit and keeping that and then and making yourself into a better person and always trying to improve. And you know, because like if you don't believe in improving and if you don't believe in redemption and if you don't believe in true forgiveness for yourself, then like I don't know, man, like what's the point, you know? Like if you can't like if you don't you can't try to do better for yourself and push that out, like I don't know, like what's the point if there's no redemption, you know? Like there's no good
Yeah.
hero story without a good
I would just
redemption.
like to tell you this. I just want to clear the air with this, okay? I always believed in you. I always thought you were special, and I believed in you 100%. And I thought you had an amazing work ethic, and you worked hard, and you were really good at like if you thought you wanted to do something, you were really a hard worker toward that to do that. And like I really looked up to that. I thought that was really good. And you
Thank you.
know, you may not have had like automatic natural affinity towards something, but you worked really hard to that. And like I learned from that. I thought that was cool. Thought that was respectable. And so like the you know, we lived together for a couple of years, and so like I saw you for who you were, and I really thought you were like a person that could be whatever you wanted to be because you had the work ethic. And so
It,
like I always thought that. And so you know when we parted ways kind of my senior year, and I lived with like I think I lived with Nick
yeah.
Geiser. Uh,
Yeah, and
he's a cool guy.
I'd moved off campus by then too. The which is
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah,
another reason why I wasn't around, like because I moved I was working a lot and
yep.
so and doing music, and so like I ended up finally moving off campus, and then and so yeah, so the whole last couple years, like I wasn't even there much, but no, that's like, and that's
Yeah.
why
So like,
yeah, go on, no, go on, sorry.
no, I was just saying like I miss you, and so like I really enjoyed being your roommate, even though you were fucking weird, and I enjoyed that like be with you because like I knew like uh I can handle weird,
Mhm.
and I'm a little weird too, even though like I maybe was viewed as like mainstream normal guy that could like whatever. Like I felt like an outcast too, and I felt like a little weird too. And so, even though I was like in the mainstream or whatever, I I felt like I was with you. You know,
Yeah,
I always felt
no,
like I was
totally.
part of you.
No, totally.
Yeah,
I
totally.
no,
And
I
like I felt
always
like we had a really good.
no, I definitely no, I enjoyed like no, I definitely appreciate it because there were very few people like I was doing I would like hang out like at for any length of time like one on one, you know, like
Yeah,
and like because I love going to the movies and doing all this weird fun shit that it seemed like nobody else there wanted to do. And so like I always thought it was just like weird that no one ever wanted to like go into town and go to the movies and like
yeah, man. I always wanted to go to town. I wanted to go to movies.
and
Remember, like
like
every Monday, I wanted to go like to a dollar
dude,
theater
like the
or two
dollar
dollar
theater
theater, whatever that was.
was awesome, man. Like it
I
yeah.
know.
And like
Nobody ever went. Nobody ever went. And I was like, I don't understand this. Like, I always want to go. Like every Monday, I want to go.
yeah,
Like nobody ever did.
like there was this whole cool ass town like outside of like the campus that no one ever wanted to experience, and I was just like, guys, it's
Yeah,
great out here, get outside it. And they called it the bubble. I'm like, guys, get outside the bubble,
yeah,
it's fucking beautiful out here. There's
yeah,
restaurants and coffee shops and like all kinds of stuff like the which I never
yeah. I like to
understood.
hang out with. I always like to hang out at Panera Bread.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like either had the Panera Bread at uh, uh, UT's campus, or I did the
okay,
Panera Bread
out in
right
Westtown.
by the $2 cinema.
Yeah, out in
What's that?
Westtown.
What was that? Yeah, Westtown. Yeah. So I would do like Panera Bread, work all day, then I go to a movie. And I
Hmm.
was like I would like try to call you and be like, "Hey, you want to meet me for a movie?" And you'd be like, "Yes" or "No" or whatever.
Yeah,
And
depending
like
on
we
the
went to all kinds of movies together, just you and me.
yep.
And yeah, it was fun. I had a really good time. I wasn't about like meeting up with like all these like people that thought they were better than whoever. I didn't like that, you
No.
know?
It's no like it's yeah. It's which sort of kind of like threw me for a loop, like especially when I went there, cuz I was just like I was like, "Oh man, I thought we were all here for the same reason." And then I was just like, not everybody is here like for whatever like I don't know. I was just surprised everybody wasn't as like nice and communal as I
No,
am.
everything is the same, bro. Like everything is politics and negotiation and like jockeying for position. It's all
It
bullshit.
it's
Everything's bullshit.
like cuz like honestly like and I didn't really talk about this a lot like while I was there, but like going there like actually like caused like triggered this whole chain of like really severe depression that I with me that I like carried like cuz like half the time like I was off in the like prayer rooms like fucking crying cuz like everybody there was an asshole.
No, man, I've been there like the last 5 years.
And so
Like
it's
I had like a 10 year, I had like a 10 year delay, and so like I've been like feeling that like the last 5 years, where I was like, uh, people are like fake, and like people don't really care about honesty, don't really care about like doing things the right way. They don't want to like help people. Like I've been
Mhm.
feeling that like last few years, you know?
And
So
yeah, it's
yeah,
no, it's tough, and but I have a whole different mindset now. And yeah, it's about like kind of sticking with people that have that mindset also, which I think is super cool. Like also, one of the reasons like I'm really glad to connect with you again, and like the whole synchronicity of everything and the timing of stuff that's been going on. Like I don't necessarily think anything happens on accident, and
yeah,
like just the people from the past that have like actually meant a lot to me, like at the time during the past, have all been like, a lot of these people have, like over the last like month or two, have just been like popping up,
mm,
like without any, like through just like weird random like happenstance where it's like, oh shit. And it's been
yeah.
like, it's been very refreshing and encouraging. And
That's
so
cool.
we are definitely not going to be out of touch again. I can assure you
Cool.
that, because no, I like you said before, it like with like just realizing that, find like people that have honor and integrity, and like, no, we're not asking anybody to be perfect, but just be like an honest, encouraging human being, man. Like try to have fun. If you fuck up, be like, my bad, and like
Yeah.
work through it. And so it's no, yeah, it's been super awesome like lately. So I am definitely glad to reconnect, and technology is not as scary as like, I don't know, I sort of turned into a boomer a little bit, and where like
Yeah.
my desire to learn technology past like 2006 just sort of dropped off. Like, because
Yeah.
when Facebook came out, like, because I was promoting music and stuff, so I understood why I had social media. And then like when everybody was just like, oh, here's my lunch and stuff, and like I'm like, wait, why are you like, what,
Oh yeah.
like, are you retarded? Do you what, like, are you like, this is how people get in trouble, just by like posting every minute detail about their life. Like it's gonna come back,
Yeah.
man. Like, why are you and so I like what, yeah, and I just started, and so I just sort of like took a step back, because I was just like, well, I'm not really playing shows and stuff like
Yeah, I
that. And
definitely don't post as much as I want to or should. But like,
it's
yeah, I get it. And
no,
like
and
in
there is a
terms of
happy
business,
medium. Like there's a happy medium.
yeah.
Like, and there are a lot of people that do have that happy medium dialed in, and I've relaxed a little bit on being anti stuff, because there's cool technologies that we can use now, like Zoom, and like, and I forget you can call people on Facebook Messenger. Like I don't even like when I saw a missed the call, I was like, oh, you can call people on Messenger. I didn't even realize. Like, I mean, I saw it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
like, it's one of those things where like I just use it for Messenger for texting. Like if I don't have somebody's phone number, then like that's where
Yeah.
where I go to. And so it's definitely been yeah, interesting. The and so
Yeah.
Thailand has been, you've been there since April, right? Is that that's what you were saying?
Yeah, it's been really crazy because like since I've been here, it's been kind of closed, like shut down since like August or September, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
slowly opened up. I had to switch cities from like Bangkok to Hua Hin. Hua
Okay.
Hin is like a beach city,
Oh,
which was
dope.
nice. I rented a motorbike and an apartment, like
Hell
just
yeah.
chilled for a month down there. And like ate seafood and like lived it up. It was nice. And back to Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok now. and things have opened up. Things are continuing to open up. They just legalized marijuana like 2 days ago,
Oh, that's awesome.
and they've started opening up like tourism here, and so it's gonna be cool. It'll be cool here
That
soon.
that is that is awesome. That's man, that's one of the things because I view it as a medicine. Like I don't actually view it as like I'm one of those weird people. Like I don't really view it as like a party drug or a party thing. Like that's not why I ever.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, okay?
What's that?
I smoke marijuana sometimes,
That
and
is
one
cool.
time I ate peanuts that were covered in uh, CBD butter,
Oh, dude,
and my
CBD's
buddy is like my buddy's like a CBD expert,
it man.
and
It
he's a chef.
CBD is really good. Like the anti-inflammatory properties in CBD is awesome. Like
Yeah, honestly, I don't really like marijuana, and I don't like the products that are connected because I feel really paranoid. So we were driving down to the beach like 10 hours, like
mhm.
south of here, and like I ate a little pack of peanuts like this. Okay, like you can see my hands like this
Mhm.
big, not very big, like this thick, not very thick, like a one serving size of peanuts. Okay, so I was in a car, and he's in the back seat. I was eating these peanuts, and I ate them all in this little pack. And I told him, I said, "Hey, Art, I ate one serving size. That's cool. They taste really good." And he's like, "You ate the whole pack?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, dude. They,
These
they're in a
snozberries taste
small.
like snozberries.
They're like a small serving size pack." And he's like, "Dude, you don't eat all of them."
Nope.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're not gonna be able to do anything for the next 6 hours."
Buckle up, Buttercup.
And yeah, and I was supposed to drive next.
Oh
I
no.
was my turn. There was three of us driving. I was supposed to drive second, and so he's like, "No, you can't drive anymore." So I started feeling it within 30 minutes. I was like, I was this. I was like this.
These snozberries
For
taste like
like,
snozberries.
yeah, man, I was like that for like 4 hours. I couldn't like.
It's
I was feeling like I was not stable. I was like in another world. Everything was coming at me, and like I decided just to sleep because like it was not cool. I didn't feel cool.
the
I felt like super paranoid. And
that
most marijuana CBD stuff I eat, like when I eat it, I feel like somebody's gonna get me. Like that's how I feel.
the
So I don't really like it.
I understand that. That's actually kind of one of the things I like a little bit is
You like to feel like somebody's gonna get you.
like I don't know. It's
That's
kind of
fucked up, dude.
it's funny to me. Like where and because like it's okay. Like where it's one of those things where it's uh like in your head in my or at least like because at least in my head I'm like, dude, nothing is going on. You're just
No, but
high.
I was feeling guilty because I was supposed to drive.
Oh
So I
yeah,
was like
no, of
feeling guilty.
course,
I was
of
supposed to
course,
drive.
because
And I was
that's what
super
it
high, and I
does.
was like,
It makes you extra
I'm a super
self-aware.
like I'm worthless.
Yeah,
I
you're.
feel super worthless right now. I'm supposed to drive, and like I can't do anything. They moved they moved me from the passenger seat to the back. They're like, get in the back seat. So I was like, I feel like the fucked up like driving bitch that sits in the back. So like I felt fucked up, you know? It was bad.
It's oh yeah, no, there's that's the thing about one of those things about edibles is in eating it is you don't always know what's gonna happen till it happens. The because
Yeah,
people
and like
people make them different, and some doses are stronger than others. It and so it just depends. The Like I used
Yeah,
to.
you're a little over a year ago. I had my first brownies. And I got this from a German girl in Myanmar, and she's like, "Don't eat more than one. Like, share it with somebody. Don't eat more than one." And I bought two of them from her. And she's like, "You can have two separate times." And I was like, "Cool." So like, I was at this rural place, like in this hotel in a rural place in Myanmar, having like a weekend away. Like, I ate the first one. I was with somebody, and we shared it, and I was like, I don't really feel anything, but she's like telling me it's like delayed reaction. And like, so we like 30, 40 minutes and nothing happened. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat the second one. So we ate the
Oh yeah,
second
bad
one,
idea.
and it was a big mistake. I like slept for like 4 hours, then I woke up and I was really hungry. And then I was like super chatty. I was like constantly talking for like 6 hours to the person I was with. I was like, hey, blah 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 blah. And I was like, what did I say?
It's
You know what I said? You remember what I said? I was like that for like 6 hours. It was messed up. So
see my
like I didn't do that again because it messed me up.
I can hear my hand. The
Yeah.
it's no when you yeah
I was like,
when you
I
do
can hear
that
my hand talking to me like it's messed up.
it's like shut up, bro. You're gonna get me into trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, you know. the
Yeah, for sure.
it's yeah no it's cool that that is legalized there because wasn't it like highly illegal there?
Oh, in Myanmar it's totally illegal.
The
So I was in Myanmar eating marijuana brownies, and then in Thailand I was eating CBD peanuts. Both are very illegal. Very illegal. So like, but I mean, nobody's gonna stop you and be like, "What's in those brownies?" or "What's in those peanuts?" Right? Like you're just eating peanuts or you're eating brownies. If you like
if you're
start
smoking
running
it,
around the car acting like a chicken or something like "Caw, caw, 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 caw," or whatever, then maybe you'll have problems. But like,
unless you
yeah,
videotape it and put it on TikTok or something.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
The then that'd be a good trouble. Get all those views. Man acting like chicken
yeah, for
in
sure.
Myanmar. Myanmar man chicken. The
Yeah, for sure.
the awesome. Yeah, yeah, how long so is Thailand the are you is that where you are planning to stay for the next little bit, or is this a pit stop,
Yeah,
or?
I'll be here for a few years, probably at least. I'm supposed to be like finding clients as well as I'm doing work for the law firm.
Mhm.
So I've found some like partners and clients a little bit. I'll be finding more clients and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm developing the Asia region for the law firms. So I might be able to travel around maybe the end of this year to different
Nice.
countries. Next month I go to Cambodia
Ah,
just for visa situation. But I'm hoping to be able to go to like Singapore and Hong Kong and maybe Tokyo, maybe in this year, maybe early next year.
wow. And when did you move like so you've been gone for like years, right? The you cuz I feel like you've
Yeah, I
been
moved
in
to Myanmar
Myanmar.
in 2010.
Okay, that's what I was thinking cuz I was I thought I had seen you move overseas before I went to Los Angeles a little bit before there. So I was
Yeah,
thinking that you'd been gone for a while. And then okay, and so when you first went over there, that's when you went with the first one was with the nonprofit organization that you were with for a while.
yeah. So I was there with a nonprofit organization until like the end of last year. So like end of
Mm.
November of last year, I left that organization November 2021. So yeah.
And that's those nothing's ever as non-profit as it really seems, or at least not as many things are as non-profit as they always, you know.
I'd say most of it's like connected to like what the outcomes really are, or like what the goals of the organization are, or the decision making. So
Mm-hmm.
like with the organization I was with, the decision making wasn't very good for like a lot of years. Like I was with the organization since 2005. So if you if
Wow,
you from 2005 till 2021, November 21,
that's a
I
lot of
was with the
time.
organization for like 16 years. Yeah.
That's a lot of time
And
to be putting into
I saw a
something.
lot of bad stuff, like really bad management of things, bad manage of bad management of conflict. People leave, people come. I had personal, really bad situations where the organization managed my situation very badly. So yeah, you see all kinds of stuff. So I don't think the organization I was with like was unique in this. I think there's a lot of organizations that are really badly managed in terms of
Mm-hmm.
overseas work. Like a lot of them claim that they offer services overseas for missionaries, which I consider myself to be,
Mm-hmm.
but the services are very limited and really up to the person on the field. But they don't really incentivize getting help. So if you need help, it's like kind of a negative thing, I guess.
Okay,
Um,
so they put out an idea, but only came through with about half of the idea that they were putting out. Like if there were any difficulties, then they were just like,
yeah, I think
eh.
like for the organization I was with, they promoted an idea that really never was real, and then like the support system that they offered also wasn't real as well. And then when they handled situations that they had to deal with, they managed them very poorly because they didn't really understand the situation. And so they claimed to be experts and blah blah blah. But when it came down to like decision making about the situation, they decided the same way as anybody else would. They didn't decide based on the situation. They based decide on people's decision.
Yeah,
Like what it looked like, how it was viewed for the organization. Different things like that.
yeah, optics and money, like the same thing. Any
Yeah,
for
exactly.
profit
Optics and money. Exactly.
is like, yeah, which is yeah. I mean, those things are yeah, which is always weird to me because, like, if you're looking for optics, wouldn't it be better, like, optically for how it's viewed to actually follow through with what you're doing and, like, help and actually following up and helping, if there are things like you would think
I
that
mean,
that would
honestly,
be
I think some of the leadership believed that they were doing that, but they really weren't. To be honest, like
okay.
if they had like a if they had like a grassroots view of things, like if they viewed things like from the ground of where they were at, people were at, and where they were doing stuff, and they understood the situation, they would have made a different decision. But they made decisions based on uh, their assumptions, their prejudices, and people who they liked, and what they wanted to accomplish in the field there, and things like that. So, like, you're going to have all kinds of skewed perspectives. You're going to have a
Yeah.
super skewed perspective based on what you want to accomplish versus what's really happening versus what the ability of the people on the field are and who you like on the team versus who you don't. It's gonna be very skewed.
Yeah, and which I mean, especially for you, knowing your personality, being like a big-hearted person who actually you got into it to actually help people, and to do, and I imagine, yeah, just seeing the stuff that's going on and being limited in your ability to affect change towards the actual kind and positive outcome. Like, I imagine that would be a little bit frustrating when, especially.
I think for me personally, I think I ended up dealing with more like people's personal issues than I wanted to,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and dealing with like less of like the grassroots helping people. And so, like, my position where I was at was like I was a leader of an organization and had to deal with like fundraising, and management, stuff like that. And so I had less interaction with people on the ground, like grassroots work, which I like to do.
Yeah,
Um,
because you're a people
and when
person.
that happens, like, yeah, I'm a people person for sure. And so what happens is you get kind of out of touch. You have people kind of in between you and the people on the ground, and then you have to trust those people, or those people are not doing their job or doing their job. Then, if you realize they're not doing their job, then there's issues, and so you have to deal with those issues, and then you either have support from your organization or you don't. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, I dealt with a lot of that stuff. It was for me, it was like made me a little callous toward nonprofits, and also
I can imagine.
callous toward like government organizations, NGOs, like UN organizations, all those organizations, a little callous in terms of like what their real goals are, in terms of like what they want to accomplish. And it's all about optics, money, and the story they tell. It's not about what really happens on the ground.
It.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's super depressing, to be honest. Honestly, it's really depressing.
The
I could
which
tell you like 1,000 stories.
which I imagine. Well, the being where you're at now, like because you're even working for a law firms. I mean, that's even because lawyers are what they are. So I imagine
Yeah,
like
yeah,
working for, like, regardless of your opinions on lawyers or whatever, they're trying to, like, lawyers are lawyers. They're not, like, there's no questioning, like, it's all by the book. So
yeah.
I
But at
imagine
least they're
that's,
honest about what they do.
yeah, so I imagine that part is got to be at least a bit of fresh air, where you're like, you know what, I'm at least making money off of people that are just, they're upfront with it. They have to be upfront with it because they're lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of consulting while I was in Myanmar, and I dealt with a lot of people that were like straight up what they needed. I did services for them, and I made money. And like with the law firm, it's like, hey, we help these type of people. We do this type of service, and this is how we do it, and blah blah blah. It's very straightforward. There's not a lot of like politics or optics or anything like that. It's just like, hey, if you guys don't want to do this with us, we don't want to do it with you. So it's like very straightforward. Yeah, it's a little refreshing. Some of the stuff I'm still learning and trying to understand it and get behind it, but like, yeah, it's really refreshing. I always felt like business was more straightforward for me than like ministry,
Hmm.
and I like the straightforwardness because it's like I can measure this. I can measure I make money or don't make money. I can measure if a client's happy or not happy.
Hmm.
I can measure if I accomplished what the client wants or not. And with ministry, it's like the donors really don't understand the situation. People on the ground may not understand what they really want to do. And I have to figure out what the donors want and also what the people on the ground want. And a lot of times it's not the same. And I have to
Hmm.
figure out how it meets each other. And it's a little less straightforward. And the donors, a lot of times, especially a lot of the UN stuff and a lot of agencies, they have people like in Geneva or London or wherever. deciding what the projects are.
Hmm.
And those people have never been to those countries.
Yeah.
And so you have people on the ground that are trying to fit what somebody in Geneva wants with what's actually happening on the ground. And a lot of times they miss it. They miss what the needs are. They miss what the objectives should be. And so the person on the ground has to fit like whatever that is together. And a lot of times they have to make stuff up. They have to lie. They have to lie. And so they end up like you have this like donor organizational uh, structure, which is like built on lies. So you have millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars built on lies. Because you have like these people in Italy or Spain or Norway or Geneva, Switzerland or UK that like don't have any fucking clue what's happening in these countries, but they say this project worked in Afghanistan, so it should have worked in Myanmar. But Afghanistan and Myanmar are completely different countries, and they have
Right.
completely different needs. So they
Different
try
laws,
to push
traditions, like the
totally.
yeah.
But they want to push like the same projects that worked in one country and all the other countries. They're like, oh, I'll give you $5 million for this project because it worked in Afghanistan, but you should do it in Israel or you should do it in Syria or you should do it in blah blah blah. You're like, but you can't like take a successful project in one place and just like plant it in another place. You have to do like research. And so you have a lot of research that is like custom made that kind of fits the narrative. They don't really do the research properly. They just do the research that fits what the donor wants.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So, the same as politics.
Yeah, no,
It's all politics. All of it's fucking politics.
And I was thinking, like, my experience with like corporate world stuff, like companies, where oftentimes the decisions that are made at corporate like make no logical sense for the person on the ground level, like you know, especially in like retail.
Yeah,
and which is why Guitar Centers goes bankrupt every other year, is because the people that run that company have no clue what it is to actually sell instruments and like how to deal with the customer
that's why you
base.
see like right now, like when you see Biden talk, Biden has no relevance to what he's saying, to what's really happening.
Come on,
he says
man.
blah 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 blah, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You have no idea what's going on. He says like, oh, inflation, you know, stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. What do you call that?
And like the guy's asking about inflation, which is real. It's a real fucking problem for the next like 7 months.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a real problem. And he's like calling him a son of a bitch for no reason, and because he has no context. Because like, does Biden care about how much fucking chicken costs or like ice cream costs or whatever? No, he's a fucking millionaire,
dude.
He doesn't care.
No, and I mean he's busy trying not to poop his pants in public again.
Yeah, he's probably wearing diapers for sure.
Like that right there for me, where I'm like, all right, well, I mean, clearly this is just a comedy show that no one else is caught on to.
No, you hear him talk when he has a mask on and he starts talking, he's out of breath. He's completely out of breath. He wants to sit down and relax. The guy wants to retire. He's like fucking, what is he, 82?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do feel like didn't want to. He's like, you guys pulled me into this bullshit. Now I gotta.
He's like, he feels pulled into like being president. He's like, I guess like I have to do this for the sake of the United States or whatever.
And they stuck him with the most unlikable person.
He might end up causing World War III.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Like, oh geez, which is scary with the stuff that's been going on with the Ukraine that has just been popping up over news with like all of
literally we have been like fueling the fire of that shit. We've been fueling the fire. Like Russia says we don't want NATO in Eastern Europe. We say no, we want NATO in Eastern Europe. He's like, no, but like it feels like we're going to be invaded. We're like, yeah, okay, we'll invade you. Let's put a lot of military and weapons right on your border. And he's like, don't do that. We're like, okay, we'll do more of that. It's like fucking stupid. It's like, then we're like saying he's going to invade Ukraine. Yeah, because we're fucking being aggressive toward him. That's why he's going to invade. And then we're going to say, oh, Russia invaded. We're like, yeah, because we fucking made him invade.
Because we were throwing rocks.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully the world will be converted to fun one day, and everyone can just relax. It's because that's been getting like I'm getting too damn old to not try to have fun with with the rest of my life. The being on the grind.
We can be fun. We can have a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
we just focus on a certain parts of the world and have fun.
And
But like,
well, majority of people that I honestly feel that if you were all over the planet, like at least 7 out of 10 people are like, yeah, I don't really want to deal with any of this. Let's just have fun. I like music. I like movies. I like beer. I like, like I like women and men. I like, and so I honestly feel like most people are really on the same page, but
it's really mostly 4 out of 10, to be honest.
Oh, you think
It's
a lot
4
of
out
people?
of 10 that don't give a shit. It's only 4 out of
It's
10.
only 4. Oh, I'm
The
being
6
too
out of
positive.
10, they care too much one way or the other. So
Okay.
we're fucked.
We're
Fucked because it's only 4 out of 10.
Well, we got to get a couple more people to relax a little bit.
Hey man, we need to just like have some Russian girls dancing or something, or Ukrainian girls and Russians dancing together or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, that should create world peace.
Relax 2022.
Yeah, we'll have some Chinese girls too. Why not? We'll do Ukrainian, Russian, and Chinese girls dancing.
The more the merrier.
Peace.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
The more.
Why not? We should include Indian girls too. Why not?
Heck yeah. The
just whatever you do, don't include Muslim girls.
What? They
it'll cause a war.
Okay. So
so the
relax.
Unchristian Eastern people that are pseudo-Christian, they can dance, but not the Christian world or the Muslim world. Everybody outside of that's okay. Then we can create world peace.
Right.
Because the Christian men want to see the Indians and the Eastern Europeans dance, and the women don't give a shit. So we're good.
Yes. That's so relax.
That's my ideology. Sorry.
Yeah.
My ideology is that like most of the world's problems are because of woman pressure on men. Putin's probably got a woman behind him going, "Hey, are you strong enough to face the West?" And he's like, "I am." And she's like, "Show me."
He's like, "Niet."
Da. Dobre.
It's different. No, over. Yeah.
I want you to meet my girlfriend. Come here.
Hold on 1 second. This is give me. Thank you guys. This will be a great place to end this. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the Play Nice podcast. Ryan, any final thoughts?
Yeah. Invest in rice and beans and you'll be okay? The world is coming to an end as we know it. Just stay in the United States proper. You'll be fine as long as the police are still in power, you should be okay. If there's an invasion, just make sure you have your First Amendment rights of freedom of speech, and then also your right of having guns. Should have a gun, rice and beans. You'll be fine. The world is fine. Let's all enjoy ourselves.
There you have it, folks. It's the apocalypse. Have fun. Later. Thanks for checking out the Play Nice podcast. I would appreciate it if you would check out my website, trashcanconductor.com. I am an artist. I do cartoons. I've got a fun cartoon called Awkward Ghost Moments. You can check that out there. I've got a adult humored comic, a mature humor comic, Johnny No Pants. I also do music. You can get that over on Bandcamp. There's a link to it there. You can also get merch. I sell things. I have fun T-shirts, coffee mugs, and things like that. And if you would also like to follow me on any of the social medias, you can find me at Trash Can Conductor. And there are also links to everything up at the website, trashcanconductor.com. So thank you very much for checking it out, and I hope to see you again soon.